Yo, I made an insane underwater scene in Blender, and in this video I'll show you exactly how I built it from scratch, all the steps, all the tools, and how I ended up with this final result. You'll discover new tricks and some underrated add-ons that will make your scene standings easier to build. And I'll even show you a way to get high quality 3D scenes for yourself. But no time to waste, I've already opened up Blender. Before starting any scene, I always collect references or at least some inspiration images to help visualize the final result. Yeah, I grabbed a bunch of pictures from Pinterest. Did I actually use them? Nope. Totally forgot about them and never looked back. Don't be like me. So the idea was to create an underwater scene, maybe with abounded buildings, sea life, plants, and moody lightning. Yeah, this video is more like experimental in-depth tutorial, but not too much editing, more rough process. Let me know if this format works for you or not. Anyway, I started with a simple plane, that's our sand. Then I began building a cave. I almost never model anything myself, so I had no idea what I was doing. I just added a few landscapes and tried to arrange them into a cave shape. Then I cranked the displacement on the texture to hide all the imperfections. But wait, why am I modeling anything at all? I can literally just grab a cave model from Sketchfab. Yeah, so I did. Found this one for the inside part of the cave. Then I downloaded another one for the entrance and stitched them together. Yeah. After a ton of downloading, importing and fixing the textures, this is what I ended up with. Yeah, the textures are different and it totally shows. But trust me, in the final render, with proper lighting, you won't notice a thing. At this point, I figured showing you how I placed every single model is just a waste of time. It's different for everyone anyway. So let's jump ahead to the fun part, how I actually made the scene look good. I added all the models and placed them the way I like. Here's what it looks like with basic lighting, no magic yet. Pretty boring, yeah, but later I'll show you how I affect underwater caustics and it changes everything. Let's start with the sand, or more specifically the details on the sand. I use the botanic add-on, but just as scatter tool. You can use any scatter add-on, honestly. I found a bunch of coral models and randomly scattered them around, so some are big, some are small, some intersect with the ground, not a problem. If something looks off, I just found the object in the outliner and scaled it down. Or I just leave it, because in the final render you won't even notice. Oh, and by the way, if you wanna get this scene with all the render settings, lighting, camera setup and everything already done, actually not just this scene, but 5 full 3D scenes, they are all available via the link in the description. Every scene includes hidden tricks, alternate lighting setups, fog variations, a bunch of stuff you can learn just by exploring them. And yeah, all the add-ons I used come as a bonus gift, including some rare ones. Grab it while it's on sale. Anyway, back to our sand. Let me show you the texture I used. Nothing fancy, just grabbed it from Blender kit, searched for sand, picked this one, or maybe this one, doesn't matter. Also, here's the displacement. Let's jump into render view. See, it gives us these nice little sand ripples, super subtle but adds realism. Now we are not done with vegetation yet. I wanted to try to save it for variety, but apparently you can't use both geonodes and scatter systems on the same plane, or maybe I just didn't figure out how, so I duplicated the sand layer and used the new one just for the save it. Here's what it looks like. It was sitting too low, so I raised it a bit. Now it's fine. By the way, I used an add-on I haven't seen anyone talk about. I think it's called Mosify, but I could be wrong. Yeah, it even adds this beautiful mist between the seaweed. Though it's not very visible here, because I had to turn it down to save performance. Still, it's super customizable, yeah. Alright, now let's move to lightning, the fake caustics. I used an add-on called Better Lightning, just added these two light sources at an angle from the top. It doesn't look like much yet, but once we add water, the whole scene transforms. So let's do that. For the water, I used the real water add-on. I showed it in my previous video. By the way, check it out if you haven't. Not sure which preset I picked exactly, but I tried this reddish stylized water. Kinda weird, kinda cool, yeah. Eventually, I switched to something more realistic and tweaked it until I got this final look. It's hard to see now, but the light rays from above shine beautifully through the water. That's basically it for the scene itself. Now let's talk render settings. And yeah, reminder, you can get all 5 scenes, full setups, all the add-ons, link in the description. Discount still active, future updates will include 5 more scenes for the free if you grab it earlier. Back to the render, my render samples are set to 128. I don't go higher, no point in wasting time, this is enough. I'm not rendering in 4K either, this is for people with slower PCs, but if your setup allows it, definitely change render scale to 200% for appropriate 4K image. For the noising, I just use the built-in Blender one. Normally I use a denoise Aidan in compositing, but I compared them and honestly the built-in one looked better this time. Light path settings, I pushed them pretty high, compared it to my usual everything set to 2 config, and there wasn't much of a difference in render time, so I kept the better version. One tip, do lots of test renders, compare lighting, details, performance, push every part of your scene until it looks its best. Performance tab, I recommend enabling tiling. It renders your scene in chunks, which improves quality, but can slow down the process a bit. That's pretty much it for render settings. Oh wait, the camera, yeah, nothing fancy. Focal length is 30, depth of field is on with these values. You can animate it, add some shakes, whatever, but for this scene I just wanted a clean static frame. Here's the final render. You might think, wait, that's not what you showed us, but it is. Everything else is just post-processing. I usually don't do it in Blender. Compositing there is kinda annoying. I use After Effects or worst case Photoshop. If you want a full video on how I post-process 3D scenes, let me know. And one last thing, this scene pack is currently heavily discounted, and future updates will add 5 more scenes for free to everyone who gets it now. So yeah, grab it while